911, what's your emergency?
There's like a mudslide and everything's gone. The houses are gone. What?
Is there any injuries?
Oh, there's a propane. There's a propane leak. You could.
There's a propane leak. What's the address there?
No, there's a freaking mudslide. I mean, all I see is dirt now. We watched hundreds of trees come falling.
Okay, is there any...
And it's no longer. I'm on Steve Post Road, Highway 530. There's not a house here anymore.
Are there any injuries?
Yes, there's people yelling for help. What happened? Can you tell us what happened?
It looks like we had a mudslide in the area, but we do have the fire department dispatched out there, okay?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
It stopped at 100 feet from my house.
Okay, well, they have been advised, okay?
Thank you.
911, what's the emergency?
There's been a massive landslide on Highway 530.
Yes, we're responding to it right now. Do you have any details on injuries or people having issues at all?
I do. That's why I'm calling. My neighbor's house and their neighbor's house has been completely taken out. And it's collapsed on several of them, and they're trapped.
David Montgomery is a geologist at the University of Washington, and he joins us now with more. Well, thanks for being with us. So what can we say so far? What appears to have happened to cause this mudslide?
Well, the proximal cause is that we had one of the wettest months of March on record. That region had something north of 7 inches of rain, as I understand it, in the last month. It's been very wet out here lately. But that slide had actually slid before. This is a reactivation of a prior slide that was actually a reactivation of a much older prior slide. So the hill had failed before, so it was prone to had been weakened by the active sliding in the past. And the material that forms that hill is glacial sediments. It's fairly weak material for such a tall cliff. And so you had a naturally unstable exposure that received an awful lot of rainfall lately. And there's this other factor of a river that's been cutting into the toe of the slide for the past few decades. I don't know whether that contributed to actually this slide. People are obviously going to be looking into things like that in the future. But you had these three factors that conspired to make that particular hillside the one that went.
Well, so it's happened before, so this is not an atypical experience, or is it in terms of scale?
Well, this one was big. The failure that just happened was bigger, traveled farther, did more damage than the ones that had happened at that same site. But pieces of that slope had failed in the past, and this is an enlargement of that, a much bigger, more violent, more rapid one that did far more damage, tragically. But that slide had failed, it seems like about every decade or so, going back to the 1960s, as far as I can tell, in sort of a quick look into things. It was a fairly unstable place.
And what about other possible contributing factors? Some people have asked about logging, for example.
Well, I understand that the site had been logged back, I believe, in the 1980s, and that was before the last slide that happened in 2006. And whether that actually played a contributing role is probably an open question.